Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and welcome to this week's episode of PhoneDog Live, the show, which I have decided is neither a podcast or a vodcast. It's just a show. And the one time that I'm actually on time, I'm ready, I'm totally in my seat, ready to go. The one time is the last time I'm going to be doing this. I knew I would get it eventually. I knew eventually I was like, one of these days I'm going to be totally prepared and on time and not rushed at the last minute. And I did get it eventually. So, welcome to the show. We don't have a whole lot to talk about because honestly, not a lot happened this week, but there is plenty to talk about with the iPhone 5 or iPhone 5. I hear some people say the iPhone 5, and then some people just say iPhone. Actually, it's only Apple I hear that only says iPhone. I've been trying to figure out, like, what's the proper grammar? Is it the iPhone or is it just iPhone? I was thinking, well, with countries, we don't say, like, the America or the Germany. We just say Germany. Or, like, with a book, we don't say, well, I guess sometimes we do say the, well, no, you don't. Like, the Twilight. You don't say the Twilight. You just say Twilight. So maybe it is just iPhone. I think that's what it is. Anyway, I'm going to call it iPhone 5. Officially introduced this week, September 12th, which was something like Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. And, there's a lot. We're going to talk about it, was it disappointing because, we're original like that. We pick original topics, only the best on this show. We go into stuff that no one else talks about, including iPhone 5. Anyway, if you haven't heard, if you don't know, basically 4-inch display, so it's a larger display, still a great resolution, 1136 by 640, so it's a Retina display still. They did a couple of things with the display. The touch sensor is now built in, which means it's thinner and all that great stuff. 7.6 millimeters thick, which is incredibly thin. The original, or not the original iPhone, no. The original iPhone was extremely thick. The iPhone 4S and the iPhone 4, they weren't like incredibly thick. They actually were very sleek and slender, but this one is even thinner, 7.6 millimeters. One thing I noticed, if you look at pictures, I should have brought a picture of the iPhone 4 to compare, but if you look at pictures of the iPhone 5, iPhone 5. I don't know if you can tell from this point of view, but the top and the bottom is more flat. And, one thing on the iPhone 4S that I actually never really liked was that the top glass panel and the bottom glass panel, they kind of came out a little bit farther than the metal bands that went across. So it was like the metal band around it, and then there was like a little bit of a part where you had the top and bottom plates. I never really liked that, and I think the reason, just making the iPhone 5, I said again, whatever, I'm just going to say whatever I want to say, with making iPhone 5 thinner is that it's just flat. There's no longer the panels that kind of stick out, which I personally really like. I have heard a lot of people say, I wish they would just keep it 8 millimeters thick and just make the battery larger, because battery life is important to a lot of people. You are supposed to still get, I think, 8 hours of battery life, 10 hours on Wi-Fi, 4G LTE, so it's finally a 4G phone, Nano SIM, A6 processor. Of course, we don't know a whole lot of details about this processor. I mean, it's Apple. We eventually found out with the iPhone 4S that it was a dual-core processor, clocked at about 800 megahertz each. So it was, not the most impressive processor, but for iOS and what it is, it was fine. So, Apple says that the A6 processor is twice as fast as the A5. Does that mean it's a quad-core processor? Possibly. I doubt it. I mean, I seriously doubt it. We just, we don't have any phones in the US with a quad-core processor. A lot of that had to do with the chipsets that we had, Snapdragon and all that. They just hadn't built one that was compatible with the US, frequencies. It's possible that Apple did that Apple built one that was compatible with US frequencies, but I doubt it. I mean, it's probably a dual-core processor, but just, maybe bumped up to like I don't know, like a 1.2 gigahertz dual core processor or something. I don't know. And then, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, and double the graphics performance. 4G, 8 hours LTE browsing, I said that already. 8 megapixel camera, so same megapixel count. Apple talked about a lot of really cool, interesting things with the camera. They kind of like blurted out just a bunch of like these random specs and features and all this crap. It's basically the same as the iPhone 4S, which isn't a bad thing. They've made a couple of improvements. I think they talked about the low light performance. They've made some improvements there. They're now using a sapphire crystal lens cover. It's thinner, obviously because the phone is thinner, so the camera is also thinner. So they did some things differently in order to make it thinner. But, really, all of that being said, f2.4 aperture, it's basically the same as the iPhone 4S. Again, not a bad thing, because the iPhone 4S, I still think has the best camera on the market, aside, of course, from the Nokia 808 Pure View. I know but come on, it's got a 41 megapixel camera. It better be better than, I'm talking about a phone that people actually buy, with an operating system that people actually want, besides Symbian. Besides the 808 PureView. I still think the iPhone 4S had the best all-around camera. There's some other ones that take really great pictures, Galaxy S3, HTC One X, and all that, and I get that, and I'm totally down with it, but just all around, iPhone 4S, and I'm going to say iPhone 5, it took amazing pictures and amazing video, and that to me is really important. 1080p video capture still, HD front-facing camera, it has a panorama mode, one of those new things that Apple is just now discovering, and you can now take photos while recording video. So, it's not incredibly new, but it's still cool, nice to have. I have Starbucks, by the way, so I'm gonna be drinking this during the show. So, and that's pretty much it. It will be available September 19th. You can pre-order it now. iPhone 4 and 4S are still available. iPhone 4 is free. iPhone 4S is like $99 or something. And it will be shipping with iOS 6. iOS 6 will be available for everyone else some other time. I don't have the date. Anyway, so that's basically the iPhone. And, like I was saying, when talking about some of the features, they're obviously not new. And so that's kind of where no whiteboard or printer in the background. I know. I'm actually moving, and so my apartment is a mess right now. I don't know if you guys you could see it. Yeah, there's usually a desk right here on this side. I don't know if you can tell that that's also gone. So yeah, the office is barren. I left my desk and my monitor just for this, and then after this, it's gone. Anyway, what was I saying before all of that? Oh yeah, so this is where we get into. What do you think? What do you think of the iPhone 5? And, it kind of depends on how you look at it, honestly. If you look at it as just a phone, then yeah, it's awesome. I mean, if HTC announced a phone that had, a dual-core processor, 8-megapixel camera, 4G LTE, an amazing Retina display, or, whatever they call it, if HTC announced that, or if Motorola announced it, we would all be friggin' saying this is like the most amazing phone ever. This is the awesomest phone of the year. In fact, we said that whenever the HTC One X was announced, or the Razer Max HD 4G LTE, whatever crap they're calling it. So in that sense, it's a great phone. And just because it's Apple and just because it's iPhone doesn't make that any different. It's still an awesome phone, and we should still be just as excited about it as we are about the One X and the Galaxy S3, because they're very comparable on different levels. Of course, it depends on which operating system you prefer, but I mean, that's opinion, so that's not fact. So in that sense, yeah, it's an awesome phone, and there's really nothing to really complain about when you think about it that way. But when you look at it at another angle, that people, and this is by nature the way we're going to look at it, is it's an Apple product, it's an iPhone, and when you look at it that way, that's whenever the disappointment sets in, because it is an iPhone and it is made by Apple, and so you naturally kind of have these expectations that maybe are unrealistic. I don't know. I mean, what were we expecting? I don't know what we were expecting. I couldn't tell you what what iPhone 5 should have had. I can't tell you what amazing technology Apple should have introduced with iPhone 5 because it's not my job. I'm not an inventor or an engineer or anything like that. So I don't know what they would have done. In 2006, I wouldn't have said that Apple should introduce a touchscreen smartphone that a 3-year-old can use. Okay, I never would have said that. So I don't know what else they could have done. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there isn't. Maybe they thought about it and they tried to think of some cool new thing they could do and they just couldn't think of anything because maybe there's just not really. I mean, maybe phones are like, they do everything they should do, and then if you want a computer, you get a computer. If you want a tablet, you get a tablet. If you want something else, you get something else. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe phones have reached their pinnacle. But, whatever the case may be, it is a little disappointing. In fact, I was watching a video from Pocket Now that Brandon Miniman, there's so many. If you had a stutter, that would be like the worst name ever. Anyway, Brandon Miniman, he made the video, right after, are you disappointed, what I like, what I don't like, and I thought it was a really great, the way that he put it, I thought was really great. And he said, mostly what's disappointing about it is just two things. One, that we already, of all the leaks, we'd already heard all of this stuff, which that's a different story. But two, like I was saying, is that it was nothing surprising. And, it's true, we don't have to be surprised, but we kind of expect to be surprised by Apple. And it's a little bit, and the way he put it is that it's a little bit concerning that Apple is at least currently satisfied to just make a product that's as good as what else is on the market. It's a little bit concerning that they haven't pushed the limits a little bit, that they haven't introduced something that's, completely amazing, because that's what Apple always did. I mean, we have the iPhone, and, you think about Apple made products that nobody caught, that was years ahead, basically, is what I'm trying to say amid all of the stuttering. You think about the iPhone, the original iPhone, other smartphones didn't catch up to what the iPhone was or is until, Android didn't really catch up until probably, 2010. I mean, really, I would say 2011, honestly. And if I had to be completely honest, I might say this year. But 2011 was really where Android got to the point where it was like, okay, this is actually awesome, and not to just certain people. The phones are actually great, the operating system is actually great, it's fluid, everything that Android is now, didn't really get that until, at least 2010, really 2011, whereas the iPhone had been doing that since, 2006, 2007. And so it was kind of that sort of thing. Apple has always done that, at least in, recent memory at least. And, for the past couple of years with iPhone, they've kind of just been content to release something that's a little bit new, that's good enough to stay on top or at least be equal. And while there's nothing wrong with that, it's a little concerning because we need somebody to really push the limits. And I'm not saying that Apple is, the company that is the only company that pushes the limits, that Apple is the company that brings all the new technology, and I'm not saying that at all. Anybody can do it. HTC can do it, Motorola can do it, LG, Google, Samsung, Huawei, Sony, whoever wants to do it can do it. But it was just, it was always kind of Apple that did that. And the fact that they haven't done that for the past couple of years is kind of like, should I even care about next year? I mean, are you done innovating? I mean, are you going to do anything new? Because we've been seeing the same thing for the past couple of years. And I think that's why iPhone 5 is disappointing. It's because of, what it should have been, rather than just, what it is or what it could have been. It's a great phone. There's nothing wrong with it. But, you think about Apple, they didn't really push the limits, they didn't really do anything new, and so it's a little disappointing when you think about it from that angle. But that's your choice. I mean, you can look at it from the other angle, and you think it's like the most awesome thing ever, which is fine. That's what we all did with the HTC One X and the Galaxy S3. We all thought it was the awesomest thing ever. And that was okay, but for some reason, if someone thinks the iPhone 5 is the awesomest thing ever, they're a blind eye sheep. whatever. Don't even get me started. Anyway, so yeah, and then I can understand. Now again, like I said, maybe there was nothing to do, and it's not like Apple hasn't done anything amazing. I mean, you think about iPad. In retrospect, the iPad was a bigger deal than we originally thought. When Apple announced iPad, it was like, oh, it's a tablet. Tablets have been around forever. Ever since the 70s, we've had tablet ideas or tablets on the market. We have tablets now. It seems like, it's another stupid, it's a giant iPhone is what everyone said. And maybe it is, but look at what's happened since then. Now everybody's making a tablet. Android is a tablet. You've got Windows 8 tablets. Tablets are huge now. And would that happen without the iPad? Be honest. I mean, come on, be honest. Even if you're an Android fanboy, be honest with yourself. Would the tablet revolution have started without iPad? I mean, I'm going to say no. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's an opinion. Maybe there's no right way to look at that. But I'm going to say no. I don't think tablets would be where they are right now without iPad. So, maybe that's their innovation for the next couple of years. And we were all expecting it to be with iPhone. We were all expecting iPhone to be where we saw the innovation. And maybe it was actually iPad that was the innovation, and you think about it, what else could phones do, really? I mean, what else could Apple introduce that would have been amazing? I mean, when you think about it, I mean, of course, and then again, I don't know, and like I said, it's not my job to know. So, I think it's good. I think it is exactly what it needs to be. And if you want to get it, great. I tweeted about this the other day. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday or something. As far as I'm concerned, my next phone will be either an iPhone 5 or a Windows phone. Which OS you prefer is strictly opinion, so it's not like I'm right or wrong or you're right or wrong. It's just, opinion. From my point of view, Android it's just not there anymore. It's just lacking that X factor that Windows Phone and iOS have. And somebody, when I was talking about this, I was saying that I couldn't quite put my finger on what it is. What it is that Windows Phone has, or what it is that iPhone has that just makes it, makes me want it. Whereas with Android, I want it, but it's not seductive. It doesn't draw me in the way that Windows Phone and the iPhone do. And anyway, so somebody tweeted that the experience isn't the same. And I'm like, yes, it's just the experience. I mean, it's not necessarily features. I know that the Galaxy S3 has an amazing display, just as amazing, if not better, than iPhone 5. I know that other phones have a higher pixel density than iPhone 5's display. I know that other phones have a quad-core processor, whereas iPhone 5 probably only has a dual-core processor. I know that, but the experience is not the same. It's, and it has a lot to do with, UI. You've got the transitions, the overall design, the continuity that you get with Windows Phone and iOS. It's a lot of things, and I'm still kind of working it out in my mind, but the experience is just not the same. As great as Android is, it has all the features, but I still don't want it. And it's weird, whereas with Windows Phone and iOS, they have basically the same features, and I want them. So I don't know, maybe it's just my opinion. Everybody likes something different. Some people's favorite color is purple, and some people's favorite color is red, and it's like, whatever, everyone's different. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to get iPhone 5 or if I'm going to get Lumia 920. I don't know. I'm on T-Mobile, so neither one of those will be available on T-Mobile, which is just my luck. But of course, you can get an unlocked iPhone 5 and use it on T-Mobile. T-Mobile was actually doing this entire friggin' campaign to get iPhone users to go to T-Mobile, and it is probably the most extensive marketing campaign that any carrier has ever done for a phone that they don't actually carry. I mean, T-Mobile is doing more marketing and more support for the iPhone than carriers that actually have the iPhone. It's like you go to Verizon, you walk in, there's people there, they show you iPhone, they show you Galaxy S3, you get an iPhone or whatever. T-Mobile is going to have an iPhone. They're going to have trained sales staff that will show you the iPhone, will show you how to set it up on T-Mobile. They're going to tell you why it's better, why you should use it on their network. It's going to be like this whole thing. They don't even sell it. Like, you could go, like, after this whole process, you could say, okay, I'll do that. And they can't even sell you the phone. They just want you to use T-Mobile so much because it's customers. They don't care what phone you use. I just think that's so funny. Apple also announced a new iPod Touch and a new iPod Nano. I have pictures of these. I actually like the way the iPod Touch looks. I actually wouldn't mind if they made an iPhone that looks like this. Let me see. By the way, did I show you my iPhone pictures? This is the white one. I actually like the white one better than the black one. With the iPhone 4S, I liked in the 4, I liked the black one better. But now that they've added the metal back, the way that looks, I think it looks better on the white one. And then this is the black one. I mean, it still looks good, but I think the white one looks better. Anyway, the iPod Touch, this is the new iPod Touch. Of course, you can't see the back of it, which is really the most important part. I don't know what I was thinking. But the back is, so the aluminum part on the iPhone? So this part that part, that basically is the entire back plate. There's no glass on the top or bottom. It's just all this aluminum part. And then it comes in different colors. So you can see some of the colors here, like pink, yellow, blue, and all that. And this is the iPod Nano. I want to talk a little bit about the iPod Nano, but it looks really different, as you can see. But the iPod Touch, it's got the same 4-inch display as iPhone 5, Retina display and all that. 5-megapixel camera, 1080p video capture. It now has Siri. You got some things like AirPlay mirroring. It has an A5 processor as the iPhone 4S. Comes in pink, yellow, blue, black, and white, and then also red. It is really, really thin. 6.1 millimeters thick. It's really thin. But iPod Nano is kind of the interesting one because the Nano is like the iPod that Apple can never figure out what to do. I mean, you look at iPod Touch, iPhone, they've always been the same. Basically, they look the same. iPod Nano has been so many different things. It's been the square, it's been the long thing, it's been the tiny little touchscreen thing, and now it's been like so many different, like Apple cannot figure out what to do with iPod Nano. I like the new design. I know a lot of people hate it. I kind of like it. I am surprised that they changed the icons, the circle icons. It's a little weird because, well, it doesn't run iOS, so, it doesn't have to have the same design icons, but it's kind of weird that they decided to change it. I don't know why they went with that. So it's a 2.5-inch display. It's got a home button also. Pedometer, FM radio will also come in pink, yellow, blue, green, purple, silver, and slate. And, it's cool. I mean, for $149, I don't know. I mean, the way I see it, you might as well get the iPod Touch for $199. But actually, are they still selling the 8 gig or the 16 gig iPod Touch? They might not. Somebody let me know about that. But anyway, if they still have the $199 model of the iPod Touch, I would just go with that. I know you don't get as much memory, but and then if you need memory, maybe it is better to go with a Nano with 16 gigs of internal memory because you can't expand it at all. You're stuck with that. Also, some new earbuds, which were much needed. Apple earbuds suck. Like, and it's funny, I remember talking about this a long time ago. For a company who makes some of the best music products around and most popular, we'll say iTunes, iPod, for a company that cares so much about music, they make really sucky earbuds. I mean, it's like they're trying to make the experience so much better, but those things, they suck, they hurt. Anyway, So now they're better. They say they're designed to feature a more natural fit and increased durability. So here's a picture of the new earbuds. They're called EarPods. So you can see they look a little different. I think that's a big deal. I actually think that's a really big deal. But yeah, that's new iPod. Not much to say. I like the new design. It's incredibly thin. Still has a great camera. iPod Touch now has an HD front-facing camera. So I think those were nice improvements. I'm glad Apple did something. Last year they didn't upgrade the iPods, and I think a lot of people were disappointed by that because, again, we expect it, and when we don't get it, it's like, oh, okay, so why did I watch this? Basically. And that's pretty much it with iPhone 5. iOS 6 Golden Master is now available to developers. iPhone 5 will not feature simultaneous voice and data on Verizon or on Sprint. If you remember in the video, in the iPhone video, if you watched it, they talked about how, it's got LTE and it also has 3G, which, on a CDMA network will be CDMA. So, normally you'd have a CDMA chip and an LTE chip because, they're different technologies. CDMA is CDMA and then LTE is GSM. So you have to have, two different chips. But Apple, in order to make the phone thinner and, a safe space, they just combined that into one chip. So it's CDMA, 3G, and 4G LTE in one chip. And because of that, at least I think this is the reason why. And because of that, that's why it can't do simultaneous voice and data. Because it would need like separate antennas in order to make all of that work. And basically the bottom line is that you can't surf the web while talking to somebody on the phone, which should just be a law anyway. I don't know why you would want to do that. I guess unless like you're getting mapping directions and you're talking to them and whatever. I get it. So that's that. Microsoft has made some improvements to the Windows Phone Marketplace. It will now be known as Windows Phone Store, which I think makes sense. Marketplace just brought back bad memories. The Windows Mobile App Store was called Marketplace. And so, I know for me personally, it was just seeing the words Marketplace, it just reminded me of Windows Mobile. And it was just brought back bad memories. Every time I went to the Marketplace, I was just like, oh, mobile. But so I think it's good that they've just renamed it to Windows Phone Store. And Marketplace is kind of lame anyway, Marketplace, but they've made some improvements also, and they're huge. I tweeted this the other day. If you don't use Windows Phone, then the improvements are, really not that big of a deal. You kind of think like, whatever. But if you use Windows Phone, these improvements are a huge deal. Like, they're so big, and it's not anything revolutionary. It's stuff that basically every other app store has, like Android and iOS. But, hey, they now Windows Phone has it, so it's great. Search within the Windows Phone Store will be improved because it will now be using Bing, which I think is great. The search, whenever you search for an app, you don't have a lot of room for error. You kind of have to get it exactly right. If you type in something it isn't what the app is actually called, like, if you search for like a Twitter app, you may find in the search results like a racing game. It's stupid. So Bing will make it a lot more accurate. You have smarter app lists, so you'll have a top free and a top paid app list, which is what they already have, but they'll be better. They'll have a new plus rising list that will be updated to factor in how quickly an app is being downloaded. Like once it comes out, like how quickly do a lot of people download it. A best rated list will rank apps by customer ratings and usage patterns. Basically just improving the list, which is good. Again, this is, Windows Phone has needed this for a while. Their lists are they're just not that helpful, I'll say. In fact, I've seen lists where the ratings, it'll be like top, whatever, top free or top paid, and the ratings aren't that great. I'm just like, why is this on here? Or you'll have an app that's rated higher than an app that's, like 5 or 6 spots above it that's rated lower. Like that app will have like 3 stars, and then this app like 10 rows down will have like 4 or 5 stars, and I'm just like, wait, what's going on here? So basically the list will be better. Also, the racier apps will be less visible, like the adult apps. And this is something that is very frustrating. Again, you'd have to use Windows Phone to know this. There's a couple of apps that are inappropriate, and they're the same ones. Every time I'm searching, and see, this is the problem. Again, you'll search for like Twitter, and then like 4 or 5 apps down, it's a freaking inappropriate. It's like a porn app or something, and I'm just like, okay, this is ridiculous. So that's another problem, is that basically the search sucks. Okay, the search in the Windows Phone store sucks. Okay, we're just going to say that. You'll search for something, you'll get 2 good results, and you'll get 20 apps that are not related at all. Okay, that's what happens, and it's now going to be better. And so like the porn apps, and there's a couple of other apps that like show up every single time, no matter what search you do, they show up. Or you'll go to like the related apps. I'll be on a Twitter app and I'll look for related, and it's the freaking porn apps, and I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, so that will no longer happen. At least that's the plan. There'll be a new report concern link on every app's download page, which allows users to report apps that they find offensive or ones that just plain don't work. These improvements will begin rolling out now, I believe, within the coming weeks all around the world. So you should be getting it. And as far as I can tell, this is all Windows phones. Whether you're using Windows Phone 7, 7.5, 7.8, whenever that comes out, or Windows Phone 8, they're all going to be getting them. And then that's that. I think this is awesome. I think it's really good. But like I said, I've vented my frustration, and it's needed improved lists and improved searches for a long time. Like I'll just do one right now. Okay, I'm going to get my Windows Phone. Tell me an app to search for. Hopefully this works. Otherwise, I'll look like an idiot. Okay, so I'm going to do a search. Tell me a kind of app to search for. Otherwise, I'll just do Twitter. Or maybe I'll do Twitter. Okay. Twitter. Need for Speed. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, a nice random one. Need for Speed. It's hard to do this with a microphone. Need for Speef. Yes. I need Speef. So Need for Speed, it shows up, and you've got some car racing games. This is actually not a very good search because they all showed up, and it's all racing games. Let me see if I go to the related. Yeah, basically it just shows other games. So the related apps to Need for Speed are Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, Galaga Legions, Battleship, Fusion Sentient. Okay, let me do a Twitter one. Let me do a Twitter search. Twitter. There's actually a lot of Twitter apps. Okay, so for the Twitter search, we have Twitter. And then we have Photo Room, Solitaire, Battery Boost, and then Seismic, Tweetcaster, and then AI Wallpaper HD, Battery Saver, Instant TV. I mean, you connect Star Wars. You see what I'm saying? These are the search results when I search for Twitter. I have one Twitter app and then freaking 10 non-related apps whatsoever. And then you've got Rowie, which is like the best Twitter app on Windows Phone, and it's like 20 apps down. Okay, it's dumb. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so that's going to be improved. And that's Connect Star Wars. Yeah, there's a lot of Connect games. I haven't played any of them because they all cost like $5. That's another problem with Windows Phone, the store, and this won't change. It has a lot of like Angry Birds and Sonic and Need for Speed and a lot of games that like on Android would either be free or like $1. Angry Birds is like $5. Okay. There's a lot of them that are like $5 that I know for a fact I can get for free on Android. I don't know why. It's because it has Xbox Connect or Xbox Live built in, so I can track my achievements, I have my avatar and all that crap. And I'm like, I don't care, give it to me for free. I don't even have an Xbox. Anyway, that's it. One more thing I wanted to talk about, the rest is kind of like non-news. HP is saying that they will now offer a smartphone. And this is kind of funny because it's like, okay, so they bought Palm, and we were like, awesome, HP WebOS phone. And then HP was like, we didn't buy Palm to make phones. And it was like, but you know that WebOS, you know that Palm owns a smartphone OS, right? Like, and we were like, okay, sure. And then, they made a WebOS phone. So we were like, so you did do it to make phones. And then later on they said, no, we're not going to make any more phones. And it's like, okay. And so then they shut down the WebOS side, and they said, but we're going to open source it. And it's like, all right, so you are going to sort of have phones. And then now they're saying that they will ultimately offer a smartphone because in many countries of the world, that is your first computing device, and they must take advantage of that form factor. It's like, dude, just make up your mind. Are you going to make a phone or not? At this point, I don't even care, okay? I don't even care because you've gone back and forth so many times. I don't even care. I've stopped caring, okay? And now that it's open source, anybody can make it, so whatever. I don't need you anymore. I just think it's ridiculous how they keep changing their mind. I don't know. Maybe they're losing money, and so they're like, oh, we better do something. I don't know. I mean, HP makes computers. They make tablets. Why not make a phone? I mean, you paid $1 billion for a company whose primary asset is a mobile OS. Why would you not? What else do you? I mean, I know they have a lot of patents, but I mean, what else does Palm do that HP would want other than WebOS? I mean, it was ridiculous. It's stupid. I'm not even going to talk about that. So they're now saying that they will ultimately offer a smartphone. And that's the news. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. There's some other stuff going on, but I didn't really want to talk about it. I do have to say that I've actually been really nervous for this show. This is the last PhoneDog Live that I'll be doing. If you guys haven't heard, I'm leaving PhoneDog. The last video that I'll do will be on Monday. I'm going to be doing a dog pound. My last video will be the dog pound. So, yeah, I guess if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. It's really weird. I mean, I was thinking today, I was, driving. I went to Starbucks, obviously. And I was thinking about, getting ready for the show. And like I said, I've been incredibly nervous all day about doing the show. Just because it's strange. I've been doing this for 3 years. I haven't been doing this show for 3 years, but I've been doing this for 3 years. And it's weird to not do it anymore. But, obviously I'm the one that made the decision, so it's not like I regret it. But it's going to be strange. So... I guess I kind of just want to tell you guys, and if you want to ask me anything, you can. I was talking to Aaron about it, and I said that I wanted to make everything as transparent as possible because I know how the internet can be, and I don't want any crazy stuff being said. So you can ask me anything, and I'll be honest with you. But I've had a really great time here. You guys have been awesome. There's a blog post that's supposed to be going up sometime today, and I said this in the post, and I'll say it here. You guys are what makes this job awesome. Testing phones is great. I mean, everyone would love to do that, to be able to use the latest phone. It's awesome, and we do videos and all that. It's great. But it's really you guys that make it fun. I mean, it's your comments, it's the fact that you like us, the fact that you like watching my videos, okay? It's the greatest feeling in the world to have that kind of validation. And maybe I am that naive or whatever the word is, but it's great. And also there's the fact that you're there. Our job is fun, it's great, but you not only make it possible, you make it worth doing. There would be no point in testing phones and creating a video review if nobody watched it, or if the people that watched it didn't like it. So you guys, you make this job awesome, and so thank you. Thanks for watching. PhoneDog Live will continue. I am told by Aaron that, by the way, if you haven't asked me questions, I have not been paying attention at all. I've just been talking, and you know how I like to talk. So yes, PhoneDog Live will continue. There will be a break, but it will be back in October with season 2. And I am told to mention season 2 multiple times. So I'm not really sure what that means, but PhoneDog Live will be back with season 2. I imagine that it'll just be a little different season 2 multiple times. Obviously a different host. I don't know what the format will be like. It'll probably be better, to be honest with you, because let's face it, one person talking into a camera, not the best show in the world. So it'll be back in October. So keep it on PhoneDog because you'll get more information about that. You'll be able to still watch the show in October, season 2 of PhoneDog Live. I'm going to say it multiple times. Of course, it's not like he can fire me, but I gotta say it. Anyway, so it'll be back, and you'll be able to watch PhoneDog Live season 2 in August. I am moving my apartment, obviously, like I talked about earlier. I am also moving jobs to a completely different field. I am no longer doing technology. Are you leaving to become an artist in France? No, sorry. I am not leaving to become an artist in France. My life is not that interesting. I'm leaving technology completely. It's been great. I still love technology. I have my entire life, but I'm gonna move on to something else, something that's really important to me and my husband, actually, what we're gonna be doing together, and something that I've wanted to do my whole life, that we've wanted to do ever since we got married. And so we're going to be doing that. So I won't be on Twitter. I won't be on Facebook. I won't be anywhere. I'm deleting everything just because I don't need it. So you guys won't see me anywhere ever, I assume. I mean, I can't foresee the future, but you won't see me anywhere. So you can ask me anything about that. Like I said, I'll be honest. I will tell you whatever you want to know, as long as it's not personal, obviously. But we'll start the open Q&A now, and anyway, so you can ask me about that, or you can ask me about the news, and we can just, forget everything, Okay. You have a Facebook, yes, but I never use it. The only reason I have a Facebook account is because for PhoneDog, I need to be able to access PhoneDog's Facebook account, and I needed my own account in order to be able to do that, so. What do you plan on besides tech? What do you want to do? So my husband and I, we're going to be doing, the best way I can describe it is we're going to be doing volunteer work. I don't know if you guys would understand, but anyway, we're going to be doing volunteer work, and so we've put ourselves in a position where we can do that. We're moving into a smaller condo. It's this little 1-bedroom, and we're kind of simplifying, I guess, downsizing on things, and so we'll be able to do that full time. Obviously, it's awesome whenever people volunteer whenever they can, but we want to make a career out of it. Career minus the pay, obviously. So that's what we're going to be doing. This has nothing to do with PhoneDog or anything that they've done at all. Can you extend the show? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Where are you moving to? Well, we're staying in the city. I'm not moving to a different country. We're staying in Dallas. We're just moving to a different part of Dallas. If you have time, you should do a best of segment at the end of your video on Monday. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. How do you make money volunteering? Well, I'm going to have a part-time job. And then my husband is also going to work part-time. So, we'll have part-time jobs to support ourselves, but then everything else, that's why we're simplifying, so we don't have as many bills. We don't have as much to pay for, which means we don't need as much money. It makes sense. It works. It's a genius idea, I know. Is PhoneDog hiring? I don't know. You're so awesome. Thank you. Are you and your husband going to turn into LeBron James? I don't know what that means. I don't think so. Move to Euless so I can see you every day. Sorry. Sydney, can you hit the mic for us one last time? Can you sing for us? No. So no more Starbucks. Well, we've downsized our budget to where we can have Starbucks twice a week, preferably less, but Starbucks twice a week, and we're downsizing everything. We're on a really strict budget, but also we have our own espresso maker, so we don't even go to Starbucks that much anyway. I think this is like the third time this month I've been to Starbucks, so we make everything at home now, which saves us a lot of money, and it tastes better anyway, to be honest. So, will you still follow tech once you're done? Probably not. I mean, I'll follow it. I always have, but I won't be on, the internet every day checking everything like I am now. Wish you the best. Thank you. Can we please see your hubby? I have a picture of my. Actually, I don't know if he would want want me to show you. I have a picture of my husband on my lock screen. That's my husband. It's not a very good picture because he has sunglasses on, but that's him. What phone is the best, do you think? My best phone. My favorite. I get asked this all the time. What's my favorite phone of all time? My best phone, right now, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite phone right now is or favorite phone of all time is. And to be honest with you, I don't really care either. I just don't. All of them are great. At this point, they're all great. You go buy one that you like. Don't yell at somebody else for getting the wrong phone. They're all great. It's not a big deal. They're just phones, okay? So I don't have a favorite phone of all time, and I don't really care either. You guys are so young. I'm 24. Actually, we're both 24. It's funny because everyone thinks that he's like 30 years old when they see him in person. They all think he's like 30 or 35, and they all think I'm like 17. So it's kind of funny because they all think he's like a pedophile or something. But we're both 24. Will you still use your other YouTube channel? I doubt it. 24 is very young. I did think he was older, though. 24 is young, I will say that. I don't know what you meant by so young. I didn't know if you thought that I was 17 like everyone else does, so that's the only reason why I said that. Somebody asked about the Galaxy S3 Jelly Bean update. That is supposed to be coming in October. Any news on the HTC One X? Yes, that was spotted in the FCC with AT&T compatible LTE bands in tow. So, AT&T LTE. Do a prank call to someone. No. Will you keep in touch with Aaron or Taylor? I don't know. Aaron, maybe. Aaron I might see from time to time. Taylor, I don't know. It kind of just depends. I'm not a very keep in touch type person. I'm not very good with human relationships, to be honest with you. To be completely honest, I'm not good at it. I never have been. I don't know how to be. My husband is probably the only person I've been able to maintain a relationship with, which is good because we're married, and that's why we got married. I'm not very good at that, so I don't know if I'll keep in touch with them. Is there a reason why only GSM carriers have a majority of Windows phones? I don't know. I'm 13. That's awesome. It's so weird you read my question. Okay. I'm 15. That's great. So you balance each other out. I don't know. My husband isn't extremely sociable, but he's the kind of guy that people love being around. And he's just really funny. He's just got jokes, he's got jokes, and but he's a really good listener. I'm not very trusting of people. I don't trust people at all, just because of, my life. But he was the only person, I met, and I just felt comfortable talking to him. So I guess, yeah, maybe he is more sociable than I am, but not really. I mean, he's not very sociable. He's just better at hiding it, I guess. Sydney make a guest appearance on season 2. Yes, season 2 in October. Said multiple times. I doubt it. I mean, I might, but like I said, I want you guys to continue following PhoneDog because they will always have the best news and reviews. But I'm just not going to be following it very much. Not just PhoneDog, but just any site. I'm just not really going to be doing that. Will you still be in official smartphone rankings? I'm probably going to do it next week or this weekend, but probably not after that. Show us your necklace. Every time I wear this, you guys want to see this necklace. This is the second time. It's nothing. It's just it's a thing. I got it for like $1 at Forever 21. So, yeah. What kind of microphone are you using? This is a guitar band microphone. Yeah, little known fact. Now that I'm leaving. Yeah. Sounds good though, right? For $3, it's not bad. I know. I don't need $100 podcasting mic. I got this. Is it Guitar Hero or it might be Rock Band actually. You are cutting yourself off from the internet. Not really. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to be on the internet at all. I'm just saying I'm not going to be religiously devoted to technology and smartphones, you know. Didn't you wear that shirt like 4 weeks ago? Yes, thank you. This is why I love the internet. Is that microphone shockproof? I don't know. Is it? Probably not. When you don't do a show, can you please tell us? When I don't do a show, well, I'm not going to be doing a show after next Monday. Will you grow your hair out now, or will you leave it cut? I'll probably leave it like this. I mean, I like it. Why is the apple so expanse? I have no idea what that means. Expensive. Why is Apple so expensive? Because they make very high quality products. You know, and that's just it. I mean, you think about like a laptop that's like $400 or $500 or $600, you know, $700. It's made out of plastic. Nothing wrong with that. It's just plastic. MacBooks are made out of aluminum. They're very heavy duty. They have great displays. They have great internals. The cheapest MacBook has a Core i3 processor, which you would pay a lot of money for a Windows laptop. In addition to everything else. So that's why they're so expensive. Because it's shiny. Favorite part about working at PhoneDog? I don't know. Probably just the good comments. The awesome comments. The ones like the compliments. They're nice. I mean, everybody likes that. Everyone likes getting compliments. It's fun doing the videos, but it's even better whenever I know that someone actually liked it, besides me. Are you going to play one day in the WNBA? I doubt it. What kind of volunteer work are you doing? I don't think I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, so... Sydney, you got swag. Yeah. Does a PhoneDog belong to somebody, or is he a stock image? I have no idea. I do not know. You can take on LeBron. Probably not. It's going to be so odd not to have sports mentioned during this week's show, during season 2. But I'm still here. So you guys know I have a fantasy football team. And so this week we're playing, a friend of mine who, first of all, he drafted Phillip Rivers as his starting quarterback. Okay, which, like, when I saw that, I was like, what the heck? Are you a moron? I mean, like, okay, if he's the only one available or as your backup quarterback, fine. But it was like the second round or something. Starting quarterback Phillip Rivers, and I'm just like, what in the world are you thinking? Anyway, and a couple of other I think he had bad picks. But anyway, so his backup quarterback was Jay Cutler, and so last week Phillip Rivers didn't do that great. So this week he started Jay Cutler because they were playing Green Bay, and he was thinking, Jay Cutler's better. He'll have a big game since it's against their rival. Well, I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but Jay Cutler had like 4 interceptions or something like that. He got negative points, okay? It's very rare that a player gets negative points, but he got -1 points, and it's so funny because we're playing him this week, and I'm like, man, we're going to destroy you. Of course, his kicker got him like 18 or 17 points, which was ridiculous. But anyway. Okay. Sydney, any Virgin Mobile news? Not that I know of. Who is your quarterback? Tony Romo. Yeah, which I hated picking him because it just made me look like a homer because I live in Dallas. But he was the best quarterback available when I wanted to draft a quarterback. And so that's the only reason I did it. And he's been great. Last week he got, I think, 25 or 30 points. He's always like at least top 10 quarterback in terms of fantasy leagues. He could easily be like a top 5 quarterback depending on how good of a season he has. So it was a good pick. But yeah. What's your favorite football team? I don't really have one. I mean, I guess Dallas, the Cowboys, but not really. I don't really like Dallas. They're not that great, but have you ever heard of the Oscar Smith high school football team? I have not. A homer. Yeah, a homer is somebody that, only roots for the home team, or like their favorite player is only their favorite player because, they play on the home team, like that kind of thing. Like there's a lot of people in Dallas who are actually everyone in Dallas is a Cowboys fan, even though the Cowboys suck. And it's only because they have this homer mentality that the Cowboys are awesome just because they live in Dallas. It's like, I don't get it. I drafted Breeze. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Breeze got like 30 points last week, at least in my league. Is Cricket getting the iPhone 5? I'm not sure. I think I heard that they are, but I'm not sure. What do you think about the new Nano? I like it. It's different. I know it's kind of polarizing, but I think it's still a good MP3 player. I live in Jacksonville and I root for the Packers. Well, that's easy. Anybody can root for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers last night, he was just so cool and calm. I mean, he was like laughing the entire game. He was like towards the end, he was just messing around with them. Like they were up like 23-3 or something. And Jay Cutler threw a pick, and it probably would have been a touchdown if not just a really long pass. But it got intercepted. So very next play, Packers go out there. Aaron Rodgers, same long pass, long bomb, touchdown. First play. It was like, I was like, he's just messing with them now. It was pretty crazy. What is your favorite place to shop? I don't know. The mall. Will you train the host of season 2 to be more like you? I don't know. I don't know who the host is going to be. What are you drinking? Tall decaf latte, no foam, 3 raw sugars, and stirred. Is there still going to be a PhoneDog Live? Yes, there will. I am to mention this multiple times. PhoneDog Live will return in October with season 2. There. He flipped out once because his wide receiver ran the wrong route. Yeah, I saw that. He was like flipping out, and it was so funny because it was like 23-3, and maybe by that time it was 23 to, what did they get? They got a touchdown. It's like 23-10. But he still flipped out, which is good. I mean, you got to be on it. That's how you're good. You don't accept mistakes. I mean, what if that had been when it was tied or when they were down? You got to run the route. And that was why they got intercepted, because the guy in... Okay. Is PhoneDog hiring for season 2? I don't know. I like the Houston Texans. That's awesome. The only difference is I'm not sexy enough to be as good as Sydney. Okay. Morgan Freeman should do season 2. Okay. Will there be a season 2? Yes, there will be a season 2 in October. Said multiple times. Sydney, it's 107 degrees where I live. That's awesome. Do you like Star Wars? Sure. Favorite episode of Dog Pound? I don't know. I'm watching this outside. It feels so good. 65 degrees. That's awesome. It's like 16 degrees Celsius in UK. That's awesome. I love you, Sydney, for reading my chats all the time. Favorite flavor of Oreos? Probably just normal. I like normal Oreos. I actually love Oreos and milk. That's one of my favorite things in the world. I love cookies and cream ice cream with Oreos. I love like anything cake or cheesecake wise that's Oreo. At Sonic, I get the Oreo Sonic Blast thing. I love Oreos. I will miss you, Sydney Swagmeister. Sorry if we bore you with our questions. No, you don't bore me. It is 5:02 though. Will you participate in the Miss Universe pageant? No, I will not. Do you like bulldogs? Sure. I'm going to use said multiple times as my phrase of the next day. Noah will understand, but I won't care. Try cheesecake cups with Oreo crust. Use a muffin pan. Yeah, I don't really bake that much, so I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm probably not going to do that. This is honesty time. I'll answer anything honestly. Anyway, so it's 5:02. Peanut butter Oreos are the bomb. No. I don't like peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter really on anything except for a peanut butter jelly sandwich. I hate it when peanut butter is like a dessert thing, like Reese's or peanut butter ice cream or peanut butter Oreos. Peanut butter is not a dessert. It's a freaking meal. This is peanuts we're talking about. People eat these as snacks, not with sugar and ice cream and all kinds of other crap. It's peanuts. Anyway, I have to go because I don't want Aaron to get upset with me. Not that he would. I'm sure he doesn't care. Will the Lakers win the finals? Let me think about that one honestly. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for this week's episode of PhoneDog Live. Again, it will be back in October for season 2. Season 2 in October. You guys probably want to punch me right now for saying that so many times. I don't know what he meant by please say that multiple times. So I'm just trying to say it as many times as possible, and hopefully it's what he wanted. I don't know. Anyway, but that's it for me for PhoneDog Live. Again, my last video is going to be on Monday, the dog pound. And I guess that's it. I've had a great time. So thanks for watching. For everything, the dog pound, the videos, PhoneDog Live, the reviews, for reading articles. If you can't tell, I don't want to go. So anyway, but I'm gonna go. I will see you guys later on Monday. Other than that, I'm like I said, I'm not gonna be on Twitter. I'm not gonna be anywhere. So you probably won't see me again. But I guess that's it. So bye.